Get some pretty stuff.
Yeah.
Well, I wonder if I could upgrade my phone and keep it.
Oh.
Yeah, I think. Yeah. Hi. Hi. I know many of you have been to Geeks on Tour seminars before. You're saying, wait a minute, am I in the right place? Yes, we are teaching about Harvest Host today. We are representing them. The owners of Harvest Host, Don Green, live in Arizona, and that's where they are right now. We said, we'll present a seminar for you. So, and this is about Harvest Host, dry camping at winery and farm and factories across the country. How many people here have already taken advantage of a Harvest Host location? But I haven't joined. Yeah, so what's going on the screen behind me is pictures of different places where you can camp through Harvest Host. And so I'll talk a little bit about it, and then both Jim what it is and show you the website, and then both Jim and I add at different wineries and farms around the country. And I lost my husband. Does that ever happen to any of you ladies?
I'm not that lucky.
There was free food.
More or less, she keeps losing me.
Right, yeah.
I'm standing there and I turn around and say something. I don't know what you went through.
Okay. So this is just a great addition to campgrounds and the Walmarts and any other places that you stay. Something unique. You'll get to meet the winery owners and learn how they do it. You'll get to maybe go and pick fresh fruits and vegetables, eat fresh. And it was started 5 years ago by Kim and Don Green, patterned after similar programs in Europe. So they've done a lot of camping, even RVing in Europe, and they saw this and they said, gee, why don't we have anything like that in the United States? So their job is to find wineries and farms and get them to agree that having an RV park overnight for no charge is a good thing. And then
He's looking for the light.
he must be looking for the light. Yeah. That's good. That's good. Okay. So that's their job, is to find the farms and wineries, and then they put together all that information and put it on a website. And the website is a membership style of website. So you have to become a member, and that costs $40 a year. So what do you get for your membership? You get a username and password. When you go to the website and put in your username and password, you can then print out a membership card, and you show that card when you go to a winery or a farm. You can also print out, and I'll pass these around. I just printed out some samples. There's a directory of the entire country and all the farms and wineries available around the entire country. I printed out just one set from Illinois and Indiana, and then just a couple of other pages. So I'll pass that one around this way. Pass this one, these Then I just printed out a couple of individual pages, and you'll notice that there is a map and with all the points where farms and wineries are located, and then there's detail on each location. How big a rig is allowed, whether it's a farm or a winery or an attraction, and other elements of what goes on there. So how many people here like to drink wine? Then this is a no-brainer, guys. It really is a no-brainer. It is just such a cool thing to stay at a winery. And it is a free night stay. The winery owners do not charge you a thing, but I guarantee you it's going to cost you some money. We've only stayed at 2 so far, and we'll tell you about them. But yeah, we spent money. We spent money because the wine was so good. All right. Let's see what else I was supposed to cover. There are 477 of these locations around the lower 48 and the 13 provinces in Canada, and there's even a couple in Baja, California. And they're adding more all the time. It's about 50-50 between wineries and other stuff. So that's why I asked. If you like wine, I do think it's a no-brainer, because the wineries are so cool. But even if you don't like wine, there's plenty of farms and other attractions that would probably make it worthwhile. I mean, at $40 a year, how many nights do you have to use it to make that worthwhile? Yeah, one, 2 at the most. Are you required to make a purchase at the farm or winery? No, but it's very polite. It is somewhat expected, unless you just really, really don't like the wine. You know, don't buy something that you don't like. But to be a good guest, you should make a purchase at the location that you go. All right, let's show them the website.
Okay.
So it's Harvest Hosts, plural, harvesthosts.com.
I had a question.
Yeah.
Last year when I was here, the lady said, I think it was Kim, that if you were there at a certain time, that some of the wineries or some of the farms allowed you, if you wanted, to come work with them. Is that still?
Yes, absolutely. It is a one night, no more than 24 hours is what the program is. But if you get to know the owners of the winery or the farm, and they have some volunteer work you can do, and you talk to them, you can always ask, can I stay longer? I'll do some work, or I'll buy more wine, or whatever. The program is for 24 hours, but you talk to the owners, and it's in their discretion what else you can do. So here's the website, and you can see just the points on the map of what's available, even without logging in. The red markers are wineries and breweries and distilleries, so alcohol related. The yellow ones are farms. The blue ones are farms and wineries, or is it the other way around? And the green ones are attractions. So lots of the air museums. I think there's one even in Indiana.
One just south of here.
Did you do that?
About our experience, there was a great stop just a short distance. It's that great stop.
So it was just all a parking.
There's a parking lot, but they had all the airplanes all around us, and little museum there, and a lot of them were interactive. Small exhibits,
Yeah.
I mean, we're here, it's kind of off the beaten path a little bit.
Yeah.
They came out to the parking lot, we had a friend with us, so it wasn't a hard time. They are now. They greeted us, and they gave us private tour of the house, and they said, I gotta go home, but walk over to all the airplanes overnight.
And even out in Oregon, the Air Museum out there, where the Spruce Goose is.
Minville.
In McMinnville, yeah, I believe that's
Their
been,
members?
I believe that's been added to the program.
Oh, that's a really cool.
Right, yeah, we have been there, but we didn't stay overnight. All right, so how it works is once you get, you can join right online as well, become a member. So over on the left-hand side, that's the main menu, and you just click on become a member.
I'm getting them in the camera.
Oh, trying to get them in the camera too.
Trying to get Cherie in there. So we have two good-looking women instead of just one.
Oh, a charm.
Maybe a little box to put it a little higher or something.
Have it up. There we go. That's probably. Hey, wave. Yeah, okay.
So once you want to join, you can click on become a member. And by the way, if you picked up one of the orange flyers here, there is a coupon code, Glamorama, you can probably remember that, even without the paper, that will get you a 10% discount.
And that's good for renewals and for new customers.
You want to click on that?
Which one?
Become a member.
Become a member.
Yeah. Become a member. And there's 3-year and a lifetime as well. The code of conduct, you should read through that if you're going to do this. It's just the common sense, how to be polite when you're staying on somebody's property. And FAQs, so you choose one and you get out your credit card. You can put in that coupon code and get a 10% off. And once you are a member, then you choose the login. And then you can get to the other parts, the members only parts.
Okay.
Are all of the places, I'm sure some of them have electric, like windows, but are some of them, are you going to be boondocking?
Most.
The
Almost.
expectation is there's going to be dry camping. There are some out there that happen to have hookups, but you should go on the expectation that it's dry camping.
But they allow generator use?
It's dependent, you should always ask.
If you don't put it on the farm, they might not actually want you to use the generators. Call ahead and ask, and they'll share with their.
The winery we stayed at did allow the generator, so it wasn't a problem. But we asked just to make sure. And they also had a place where we could fill our water tanks if we needed to. They did not have electricity.
With wine?
Now there's a thought.
You can totally let you fill your tanks with wine, they're just going to charge you.
I was gonna say, it's one of those midnight runs, you know, you hook up that, your hose to it.
That's cool.
So once you have logged in, then you can print your membership card or print the host directory. Now that's what I'm passing around. That is an example of what the host directory looks like. So if you're not always on the computer like we are, just print out the whole thing and then you have it. But make sure to keep coming back and checking on the new hosts because they add more all the time. And that's on the front page too. The country is divided into areas, so you wouldn't print out the directory just for the whole country. You print it out for the area that you're in. So go ahead and click on one.
Which one?
Scroll down.
Oh, you want me in the host directory again?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, sorry. And just to see what it would look like, you click on download PDF file, and that's what you can print out. Yeah, it's Adobe, it's PDF, so you need Adobe Reader, and sometimes you get that message.
And if you have a fast internet connection, it will be fast. And if you have a slow internet connection, it will be slow. Okay. There we go.
All right, so he chose the North Central region, which is the one we're in here. There's a description of what all the little icons mean. And scroll down, and first you will see a map of the region. And each pointer has a letter, and when you scroll down, then each place will have the letter associated with it. So you can look up and see the details and the phone number.
Were there any in Iowa?
There are some in Iowa, yes.
Just trying to see when
Did
they
you-
went by.
already scrolled through.
Did I go past?
Notice that every one of them has a phone number. So it is the correct procedure to call them the day before. You can't make reservations far in advance, but call them, say, I plan to be there tomorrow. Is that okay? Are you open? Do you have space available?
Okay, let me go to the maps. Okay, and we'll click on Iowa.
That's another way of doing it. So if you are online, then you can just go to the map and click on the state.
And this is an interactive map. You can move it around with your mouse. So we have A, B, and C. A being Dale Valley Vineyard and Winery, the Great Escape Winery, John Ernest's Vineyard and Winery in Iowa, King's Crossing. So yeah, there's quite a few in Iowa.
And this is just Google Maps. So what I think is cool, and I just did this, I just looked at the map and said, oh, is there one in the direction where we're going at about, and yeah, I found one at about 3.5 hours. Actually, let's see if you've been there. But you find it, you can click on directions.
Which one?
Just pick anyone. And just click on directions. And now, so when I did that for a place we want to go, I got the directions, then I clicked on share and I emailed the directions to myself. So now I have that on my phone and I can say navigate there with Google Maps. So it's, yeah, so,
Do that too.
yeah.
Can you do that also, download it to your GPS from Google?
Well, on this GPS, absolutely. Yeah, that's what I do. I just tap on it, and now this is navigating.
So I was just wondering if I could download it to my phone.
Well,
Can you download other Google Maps to your Garmin?
I haven't tried it yet.
Oh, okay.
If you support this feature, then it should work.
Yes.
If it doesn't, then no.
okay. So let's just start talking about what places we've been. That one is just.
Our first Harvest Coast experience was actually just a couple months ago. We were coming on our way here, and it was in.
Yeah, it was near Champaign. It was a place called Sleepy Creek.
That's the one.
Yeah.
That's the one that I say is good. Where we will be hopefully Tuesday night.
They're super friendly. So we called ahead the day before. We thought we should really try out this Harvest Coast thing.
Sleepy Creek.
We had the membership for a while, just hadn't thought to use it. It's like, oh, well, let's just see what's on the route, and it happened to be the closest one on our route, and it wasn't too far off the interstate. So we called ahead.
Like, come on down, it's the first of the season, we love Harvest Coast people. We get there, and they direct us out to their back field right next to the
Well,
wine.
actually, we were pulled in, and she said, no, we have a huge.
Yeah, stand up. We don't. Or we do have microphones actually.
Are they working?
We can project.
Yeah, I just thought it was a small enough room that we really didn't need the microphone.
Yeah, so they greeted us as we pulled in the driveway, so we have a big parking out there, no problem for your bus back there. She was welcome, we're happy to have you here. And how long can you stay? We'd love to have you stay longer. Oh, we're expecting just one night, and they basically made it clear that we could stay as long as we could have our power going.
Yep.
I think they run generators and they had water for us if we wanted.
So yeah, so it was a great experience of staying right at the winery. They didn't pressure us at all to buy stuff, but of course for wine it was amazing. We ended up doing a lot. They had, and then as the winery was shutting down, as the tasting room was shutting down for the day, the woman who was basically running the place is like, come back at 6, and we'll shut down the tasting room, and I'll give you a tour of the fields and show you how we graft the grapes and how we prune and we do this, and when you come back later in the season, you'll see when they're like this, and if you want to come back and volunteer, we always look for volunteers to work in the field. And they have a volunteer program.
That's not
Yeah. So yeah, they're just like, they're just having a personal, they spent 2 hours going through the winery vineyard with us, just showing us all the details of these different types of grapes. This is how you tie them together, and this is how you know which one's to trim.
And he also gave us some background on what it's like to run a winery and the struggles of a small business and a community. And
Just hold
You
it.
can just hold.
Just hold it.
I think it understands.
He's done great, yeah.
Well, that would be really, I mean, you just able to, they just let you park back there, then you get, what then, I mean, you didn't have to walk the country miles to get back to the winery, did you?
Oh, no, it was 500 feet. I mean,
No further than you're walking here to get to a seminar.
Yeah.
That's good, so.
Yeah.
And then you just go and do the wine, that makes it nice, that way you don't be drinking and driving. You
They're
can
drinking and driving.
drink
So
and
they had like a
stumble back.
we paid for a $3 tasting there. They had, you could have 3 tastings for free, or you paid $3 and you got to taste everything they had. I'm like, I did the math on that.
Including wine slushies, and they had a wine Bloody Mary. That was amazing.
Oh, wow.
Very unique. And so it was a really neat experience. Our first was very eye-opening, and if we'd been there on the weekend, there would have been live music and barbecue and everything else too. It was like, this is where we're going to stay. Awesome.
I saw a little designator, so some of these places do have limitations on what size of rig they
Yes.
bring in.
So this one actually said if it's muddy, we can't accommodate over like 36 feet or 45 feet. They had some limit, so we did call ahead and make sure that because we have a 35-foot coach, so we didn't call ahead and say, can you currently? And it said it right on the listing. It said, under certain conditions, we can't do larger rigs.
what about pets?
This one didn't have home limit. I think they actually listed, right, Chris?
There you go.
Yes, pets is one of the little icons
Oh, okay.
that's next to, and yeah, it's very clear. Some do and some don't.
Yeah, because you're going to a farm or something like that, especially if they have a lot of guard dogs, something like that. But we have some friends who have done it, and they have dogs, and they went someplace where they had guard dogs. They said, we'll just put our dogs away for the night. We'll keep them in their barn or whatever, just so your dogs can do that.
Which is why it is so important to call ahead. Call the day before, just make sure there isn't any surprises.
I wondered, the place you were, and I know it's just one out of that many, but was there room for like a caravan with 3 coaches?
This one had room for about 60 coaches.
Oh,
It was a back field, so they use one side of it to host outdoor weddings. So if there's an outdoor wedding, they won't let any Harvest Host people be back there. But if it's not a wedding and it's not muddy, they've got a huge field just completely trying camping.
One more thing I'd like to show you on the website is after you visit one, you might want to write down your comments. I want to show you where you can do that. There's a forum. So you find forum on the menu there. And
We're logged in.
we are already logged in. The forum is a separate login.
But it can be the same username and
It can be the
password.
same username and password. Ours is, but so keep scrolling down till you get to the. Well, those are all how-tos.
But they do have how-tos.
Right. We can get into the forum.
Maybe I just had a different spot here.
Forum. Yeah, you are in forum instructions.
Okay.
You should go to the Geeks on Tour class and learn how to use this.
I really should, it's true. Well, I clicked on forum,
Okay.
and I got here.
And you got forum instructions.
Click here to go straight to the forum.
There you go. You got to read, and then you have to log in.
Yeah.
Oh, that it's just the same as your password, right? ...
Besides the size of the rig, do they allow tow in vehicle?
Yeah, we did.
We tow our car.
Oh, absolutely.
There we go.
All right. So host information by state or province, this first forum in there, when you click in there, every single one of the locations, all 477 locations, have an entry in there, and then you can add your comments and your pictures. So if we go to Illinois, and what, Air Classic Museum?
We went to Grissom.
It's in Peru, India.
Oh, Grissom, we went to Grissom, yeah, in Ohio.
Okay, I need to go back then because I'm in Illinois.
Oh,
Where were you?
Indiana.
Indiana. Oh,
Peru, Indiana.
Grissom's.
Grissom Air Museum. And nobody's commented on it yet.
It was a $5 entrance fee. That was actually, but they had nothing else really to buy there. They had a gift shop.
Oh, really? So it really was a free overnight, huh? $5. She says it wasn't a winery, so there wasn't wine to buy. It wasn't a farm, so there wasn't fruits and vegetables to buy. They paid the $5 admission to the museum, which was well worth it.
And then at the end of the day, after walking around.
Right over the top of our radio. Coast.
Oh, there is an active airfield right there too, so you do have, we had like carriers like landing on.
It was a big target place. It was the flight hangar.
Yeah, so they said they had airplanes flying over the rig, But we're used to trains. I mean, so big.
This is exciting. So like cool plane.
Oh.
Like you could all night. It was like all around side and cheer them on.
All right. Well, how about go to Idaho? So every state, and you can read everybody's comments in here, which is a good thing. Idaho, and it was Cold Springs Winery is where we stayed, and it starts with all the information, just like is on the printout, and then you see comments and pictures. Let's read somebody besides ours. We visited this winery in May and had a wonderful time. The owner, Bill, met us and guided us to a spot with a huge lawn and a great view. He then invited us to a wine tasting, which was great. After the tasting, he showed us their winery, told us how they make the wine. This was the best winery we have stayed at so far, and Bill was a fabulous host. Bing, his wife, was out of town, so we didn't get to meet her.
We did get to meet Bing, but she was on her way out of town
She was on
again.
her way out of town again, but she stopped. She saw the RV coming up the access road, and she stopped and made sure to wave and talk to us. Have a good tea. And that's our rig parked at the winery in Cold Springs in Idaho, and it was you were right in the vineyard. And a bunch of other people's pictures.
So it's all, very nice.
Yeah. So what's the other place we stayed at? We stayed at a farm in Oregon, and we were able to buy fresh. It's not in the program anymore. So
I don't know why.
Yeah, so you do have to check with the current information. Don't just go by your printout that was printed a year before.
Vineyards
So do you have any?
Vineyards in New Jersey. Crazy.
Any more that you plan to go to?
Now that we've had such a good experience, it's going to be part of our planning ahead. Is always to look at the direction we're traveling to see if there's any harvest hosts on our short-term future route. We can call ahead.
The Tillamook Air Museum. That's a good
There.
place.
Oh, it's not the one in McMinnville, huh? The
No.
Tillamook Air Museum.
The boat.
What is the large number there that says views? Is that views that people have commented on, or?
I think this here, the views here you're talking about,
Yeah.
I think that's just forum views.
How many people looked at
How many people have looked at that?
Oh.
So,
It's not how many views, how many views the video.
Oh, yeah.
No, I didn't mean that.
and you can, as a member, you encourage to post your experiences and upload your pictures. It's just a fun added thing to enhance your RV lifestyle. So these things are just new.
One of McMinnville's not.
No, it isn't. I did not see the McMinnville in there. That's still in Oregon, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, it's definitely still in Oregon.
West out of.
Oh, I do not know that that's actually in the system yet. It had a perfect parking area, and there were some people who actually overnighted there while we were there. There was a fifth wheel parked out there, but it probably wasn't part of the Harvest
There's a
Hosts.
space.
Yeah, it's a really neat place. It has 3 big buildings, and they each have separate.
There's a planet, right? There's normally an annual wine and food festival.
In
Oh,
there.
yeah?
Yeah. Okay, so let's see. Where are you guys planning on going next? What area of the country? Are you still right here, or where from here?
Well, we're really Ohio, really.
Ohio, okay. So let's take a look at Ohio. Look at the map first.
Yeah, okay.
So back to the harvesthost.com main page, and then
Find
there's
Ohio.
a map and Ohio. And what, like down by Cincinnati?
A little, the other red one that's up a little bit higher over there.
Over towards Akron? Okay, so let's see what that is. Brightenback Wine Cellars.
Contact information, their website. So we could even copy their website and go to Brightenback Wineries.
That's fine. You can check to see if it's an upcoming event. That way you can kind of plan your trip a little bit better.
Yes.
Yeah. There's a Dandelion Festival. Okay.
Dandelion wine, that's what it is.
When is it?
When is the Dandelion Festival? 2014.
Let me click on it and we'll find out.
May 3rd.
Oh,
You missed
that
it.
one.
Most dandelions are gone by now.
You missed it.
Yeah, but that's, and then we can use that, like when we go to Texas and everything. during the winter.
Texas, now there's a good one.
Yeah, Fredericksburg.
Let's take a look at Texas in the Fredericksburg area, huh?
Oh, yeah, we'll be there.
Couple there. There's a couple wineries.
So Texas, that's that little state down in the bottom.
That's a little thing down in the bottom.
Okay, so
Do you have Chisholm Trail?
Oh, that's good.
I don't see that there.
Okay, there's
Good luck.
I don't know if you can stay there, but there's a ton of wineries.
Yeah, and breweries too.
Breweries, yes, oh Lord.
Reynolds. And if you go to or you have a favorite winery, you can contact Don and Kim and ask them to contact the winery, or even if you happen to be there, you can say, have you heard about Harvest Hosts? And if you have, give them the information, because they would just love to have more. And that, again, it's just to enhance your whole experience.
We've asked, we have a winery in Tennessee, and we bought wine, we went in there, and they indicated that we could spend the night. All we had to do was ask.
Highland, it's called Highland Manor. Highland.
Jamestown.
Yeah.
Right, any of us could do that if you have the energy and want to do the research and make the phone calls. It's just that the Harvest Host folks, Don and Kim, have just done that work for us
Well,
and
it's
give
kinda
us the
one-
list of
Kind
what's.
of one of the things, when I look at it, if I find something like that, I can call these guys up and say, hey, listen, I ran across this one, and they said,
Yes, they actually have instructions on their website for that,
Do
and
they?
information that you can give the winery about the program.
And if the winery signs up, you get an extra month added on to your membership. And if you sign somebody else up, if a friend signs up and refers you, you get an extra month added to your membership as well.
Yes, Harvest Host offers a referral program
oh, okay.
as a way of thanking members for spreading the word about Harvest Host. For every one of your friends who joins Harvest Host and mentions your name, we add another month onto both your memberships. There is no limit on how many months you can get added. Harvest Host also appreciates members keeping their eyes open for new hosts, new wineries and farms. If you find a potential host, drop a good word about us, then email Don and Kim, Harvest Host, their name and location so that they can be contacted directly. And if they become a host, you'll get another month added onto your membership. And you can find out more about the program on the website.
First time we visited that place, we had a little pop-up. and we could only get one little case of wine and pop. Last time we was there, we was in the motorhome, was able to get more cases.
So you want to visit these places with as big a rig as you can so that you have enough room to hold all the wine you're going to buy. Okay, so now we're looking at Wisconsin.
Someplace in particular, one of those letters, can you see those?
Green one, green.
Go ahead. What's on it? It's a museum, petroleum museum.
Jake the Oil Guy, Ed Jacobson. Okay. But again, there's a website there so you can find out more. Whoops.
Yeah, well.
Or not. I think they need to fix that.
Yeah, that's not a good website.
But
if you still, if there's no website, then you can go and look in the forum and see if anybody else has stayed there and what comments they've had.
okay.
Any questions? Anybody want to see another state? Anything else to add? I think, yeah, we've only had two also.
Anybody else had an experience?
New Mexico or Arizona?
New Mexico and Arizona. I think I can find that.
Uh-huh.
I like this because it gives you more opportunities to go to see things.
Yeah.
You get a different unique experience.
You get a I mean, it's, besides wineries, it's got distilleries and museums and everything. A lot of times, but when you're traveling, you just don't want to go from here to here.
Well, I talked to Joyce about it.
I like to be able to go from here and stay there a couple of days and then move on. And that would give you something to do then.
There's even an alligator ranch.
An alligator.
An alligator ranch. Guess where that is?
Michael scared? Yeah.
What?
Oh, Lord, I was trying to think of a place.
I said, oh, yeah, she's kicking. No.
You don't have to get close.
You can buy an alligator. Which state? I'm sorry.
They kind of let you park.
New Mexico.
The alligator.
You don't want to bring your pets there.
Now I know that the St. Clair Winery is in there. That's one of my favorites.
In New Mexico, Deming, New Mexico, St. Clair Winery. Yeah.
There it is, St. Clair. So pets are okay. They have phone there. They'll send you they're able to send wine out. It's big rig friendly. Pretty cool. I think they do have a website that is work. So Deming Tasting Room. You can actually buy a jug there and they'll mix white and red together for you to your flavor of rosé or
sweet and dry.
Sweet and dry,
Yeah, sweet and
red,
dry
yeah. So
a
you
whole
can-
gallon jug.
or 10.
We were there one New Year's Eve, and people were walking in with little metal racks that milk in used to milk. My parents' milk on the porch.
Yeah.
People were walking in with those racks with bottles in them. What's going on? They were coming to get those bottles filled with their particular blend
Mm-hmm.
of wine.
Exactly.
It's really cool.
It is a cool thing.
We was at one wine.
You'd have to tell someone.
We noticed that
Handed to us.
there was a jug sitting on the tasting bar, and I asked about it, and they said, "Oh, yeah, you can cost you $10 for the jug, and it's full of wine." He said, "When you empty it, just bring it back $7 more just to refill it."
Right.
I guess whatever they had this certain wine on.
Yeah, I've never seen that at any other winery.
And I told,
we've been to a
so
few.
we went and got one, and I told the wife, I said, "Well, this is just to get me to come back every week."
The state laws vary on filling from containers.
Oh.
So the craft beer industry is facing the growlers, which is like the big jugs. In some states, you can only refill it when it came from that brewery, so wine is really useful for us travelers. And there's some states you can fill any growlers on this, they sanitize it first, and then some you can't refill growlers at all, you have to change them. So I'm sure there's probably similar rules with the wineries as well that apply.
So is that one of the things that's on your state?
It needs to go into state laws.
Not in detail, we do have something like that.
We do have to look at laws.
Yeah, if you want to. Has anybody wondered why all the states have such weird liquor laws. I mean, it's,
Yeah.
when you go from one state to the next, you don't know what you can and cannot buy and when.
Go to the grocery stores here in Indiana on Sunday thinking you're gonna restock your alcohol. We've made this mistake 4 times.
The thing is,
Hence to that.
we live here in Indiana, and we went to Texas for the winter. And first thing I noticed, I told my wife, I said, there's people walking down the street drinking beers. And I asked the vendor, and she said, oh yeah. She said, as long as you're not drunk, you can walk around with them drinking. I said,
Open containers.
Open containers. You can't do that in
You
Indiana.
could give your kids alcohol in public.
Huh.
But you can't take it under a minor into a liquor store. Exactly. They vary so widely.
The one thing that is actually really interesting is how different the taxes on alcohol are from state to state. So, like, I know Missouri is one of the cheaper states. California is really cheap for liquor and wine. You can buy, it might be like $10 a gallon in taxes difference between one state border and another, and that you pay for that at in price at a grocery store or liquor store. And so that's one of the things, we wrote an app called State Lines that tracks all those laws, and so that's one of the things you can look up is the liquor laws and liquor taxes.
Well, some
by
other
state.
RVing stuff, like can you rent the rest areas and things like that, but we did it because of the liquor laws.
We're happy to hang around for questions, but that is all our material. We hope to see you at a Harvest Host location down the road one of these days.
Well, you never could tell. We might bump into you. Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Okay.
Oh, yes.